Here's a shocker, more bad news about GameStop. How many videos do you think I've done on GameStop since I've been full-timing Review Tech USA? Like 200? It's like my version of Brie Larson. Let's get into it. Skip it up and that up. So the hits keep coming with GameStop. We know back in July they fired their chief financial officer, Michael Recupero. Am I saying his last name right? And then I did a video later that month talking about how they treat their employees like complete crap, which most retailers do. I've worked in retail, I know. But it's like next level. They were forcing them to lie to sell pro memberships. Actually, in commission sales, I've had to do that too. And on top of it, they were getting phone calls. Keep in mind, for a non-commission job, that, hey, congratulations, guess what? You sold enough memberships. You're not fired. No other incentive. Some of these employees would get phone calls from their district manager at 3 a.m. Bless their hearts, because if a district manager called me for an hourly job that there was no incentives with to try to sell pro memberships, and they called me at 3 a.m, it wouldn't be a pleasant conversation they would have with me, and I would probably be unemployed afterwards. Because I'm a dick. Well, on top of everything else, GameStop is having issues fulfilling pre-orders. And it's not for the reason that you think. It's not that the demand isn't there, which is even more amazing, because you would think with how the company is struggling that they would try to get every single pre-order they can, but they're screwing this up too. This comes from comicbook.com. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. A major issue that GameStop is reportedly facing right now is the inability to fulfill pre-orders. As reported by Kotaku, numerous GameStop employees are noting that various system issues are leading to stores not having enough copies to give to people that already paid for the games. One employee told Kotaku that it was shorted on copies of NBA 2K23 and pre-order bonuses didn't arrive on time. Smaller niche games are having an even harder time with pre-orders, given copies were largely only distributed to people who pre-ordered and weren't necessarily sold directly off the shelf. GameStop also grades employees on the amount of pre-orders it issues, so if people are canceling them because the game isn't available on release day, it becomes a problem for everyone. And I've talked about before, if you're not getting enough pre-orders, or you're not getting enough protection plans, you will have a district manager. If you are a GameStop employee, you will have a district manager calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming at you to get more pre-orders. I guarantee you that if these pre-orders don't get filled, and it's not say the employees are getting the pre-orders, they're killing it, and it's GameStop systems canceling the pre-orders, that the employees will still get in trouble and get fired for it. Mark my goddamn words. This comes from an employee. This is what they had to say over at GameStop. Pre-orders have been hell recently. We were shorted on multiple copies of NBA 2K, and collectible pre-orders never arrive on time. We can only refund pre-order cancels as store credit if it's been longer than a month or two. It doesn't matter if you paid cash or not. So let that sink in. Let that sink in real hard. You paid cash for a pre-order. It's GameStop's fault. They're like, oh yeah, it'll be here. Modern Warfare 2 will be here October 28th, for example. And the game doesn't come till months later. You want to hold it because, hey, I want to get the physical copy of this game. GameStop's, oh, that sucks for you. You can't get your money back. You could get a store credit now. Even though it's their fault. Their system screwed up. They told you they had a pre-order for you. It's completely their fault, but they won't give you your money back. GameStop, you may have forgotten because you're doing the stupid crap with NFTs where they had a Falling Man NFT that was the guy who was considered the Falling Man from September 11th. I cannot believe that was sold on your NFT marketplace. Like, I get you're looking for everywhere else to make money right now. You were trying to get into cell phones, but your main thing is games. Your main thing is games. And it's not that the pre-orders aren't coming in. That's the interesting part with this. You're just screwing up and not fulfilling the pre-orders properly. You're GameStop. People want games. They want to pre-order games, and you're screwing it up and not giving them the games. And then we look, as many shortcomings as there are, and I talk about them all the time with digital distribution. Gee, I wonder why people don't want to deal with GameStop. Look, I know there's other places you could order physical games from Amazon. You could go to Walmart. You could go to Best Buy, blah, 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 blah. But GameStop is a dedicated store, supposedly, to gaming. You would think they would have this down lock, the pre-orders, because they want to keep people coming back. Look, every GameStop I walk by now, especially since the 9th generation started, especially, is a ghost town. Why? Because people are buying big SSDs for their current gen consoles or PCs, even though people mostly have been on digital distribution with PCs for years now. But for consoles anyway, they're getting big SSDs and just buying their games digitally. There is, even with the shortcomings of digital distribution, there's a lot of convenience, especially on the Switch. I have a 1 terabyte micro SD card in there. I can never go back to having a bunch of little cartridges. I understand collecting and all that stuff, and if you live in an area with limited internet, but I don't, and it's much more convenient to just have all the games in one place and stored in one place. But my point being is that GameStop, you knowing that, like the brick and mortar physical game business of buying physical copies is in decline, and you have customers still devoted enough to pre-order games, and you're screwing them up, you're helping kill physical media by doing this. But what else did you expect from GameStop? They just keep tripping over themselves. How they're still alive. I expected them to be gone in like 2016, 2017. How they're still alive in 2022 with how many times they screw up is beyond me. But it's interesting to keep talking about this train wreck. Let's just see how far it'll keep going. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.